Hello and welcome to moinframe. My name is Justus, and in today's quick tip we will talk about QR codes. Did you know that Kirby has a built-in class for generating QR codes? The class is implemented since Kirby 4 and it powers the TOTP multi-factor login, but we can of course use it as well. The easiest way is to use the built-in QR method. So let's have a look. We are here in our starter kit and I will go to the homepage template so we can render our QR code. And if we just type in the QR method and give it as a first argument just a text that should be embedded in this QR code. So that would be a website, I think, in most cases. And then we can run the toSVG method, which accepts a few arguments. You can define the size, then the color of the SVG, and the color of the background, and the width of the border. So let's say 2. Let's switch to our browser. And as you can see here, we have our nice QR code visible here. It's an SVG. And yeah, that's it. Now, displaying a QR code on a website might not be that useful, but as we have learned from the last video, we can easily extend the panel UI as well. I have seen quite a few clients use shady online generators to create QR codes for a specific landing page. So how could we prevent this? Well, let's create a simple view button that does exactly that. Let's open up our terminal and create a new plugin, the Kirby CLI. So Kirby make plugin. And this will be moinframe and QR code. All right, if we move to our plugins, you can see here's our new generated boilerplate. And first we will add the API route, which will generate our QR code. So here it is. Under API routes, we have a new route added via the pattern QR code generate. It's a post route, and yeah, it will get the URL from the params, so from the request body. If there is no URL, we will arrow out. And here we can see our QR method. So we are using the same QR method we have done before, put in the URL, and we will generate this as an SVG. And then on success, we will return a JSON response using the status success and the SVG code under the SVG key, and we will also return the URL that was used for generating. And if it fails, we will arrow out also via a JSON response. So we can type this, we can say use Kirby HTTP response and also Kirby CMS apps Kirby. This is for this class, and now our type errors are gone. All right, next up we will create the button, and this will be through a panel area extension. So that's the way to define those components inside a plugin. So under areas, we have our new area QR code. This could be named after your plugin, for example. And this will return an array of things you want to extend. And in this case, we want to extend the panel view buttons. And we create a new button called QR code. And this will get the model, so the current page is on. And it will return the configuration for the button. So this should display an icon called QR code, just a little icon button. And then it should open a dialog under the QR code name. And it should pass in the URLs of the model. So the current page the button is sitting on or is clicked on should be passed as a param to the dialog. So to add this button to all pages, we will use the config option. There are several options to define panel view buttons, but the config option is a pretty easy one. So we just open up our site config, and under here we can add the panel key. So panel which will be an array. And in there we have the property of view, view buttons for the page. And here we can define an array of all buttons that should be on this page. First, we add the default ones. So this is open, preview, settings, languages, and status. And then at the first place, we will add our new QR code button. All right, let's have a look at the panel. If we move to our notes, for example, we can see here is our new panel button. And if I click on it, there will be an arrow, of course, because the dialog is not yet created. So let's add our dialog. This will be also under our new generated area. So we will have the QR code area in here, and we have our buttons. And then we will add a dialogues key with our new dialog. All right, the dialog is called QR code as defined in the button. So this must match, of course, with our dialog name. And inside the load function, we will define a new component. So we will create a new view component that is basically our dialog. And this will get the props from our URL that will be passed to the dialog. So in our plugin, we will create a new component in source components, and this will be called QR code dialog.view. And our component basically extends the KDialog. So this is the built-in component. We will have a loading state when the QR code is not yet generated. We will have an arrow state, which displays an arrow if the QR code could not be generated. And if everything goes as planned, we will display the SVG, so the QR code that is generated. And we will provide the user with two buttons and two methods. So the first button will be copy to clipboard, and the second button will download the QR code. For the setup and the scripts, we will use Kirby up and Kirby use, which I have covered in another video. So yeah, basically some boilerplate stuff. When the component is mounted, we will generate our QR code. And this will be handled through our post route we have created. So this is the API route, which will get the URL and then return our SVG if everything is fine. Last, we have our two methods, copy to clipboard. Pretty easy, just navigator write text, navigator clipboard write text. And the download QR code, which is basically a workaround in JavaScript. Just create an element that is a link that can be clicked, click it, and then remove the object. Yeah, to download the SVG code. So to compile our view code to JavaScript, we will add our index.js file here and create a panel plugin, which will be moinframe QR code. And in here we can define our new components, which will be QR code dialog. And we will import our QR code dialog here and set it to our new component here. And lastly, go to our plugins. So site plugins QR code, npm init to get our package.json. And in here we can add our scripts. And we also need to add Kirby use, Kirby up as dev dependencies. All right, now run build. And this will use Kirby up to generate our index.js for, the panel to read. And in the panel, we can now click our new QR code button. The dialog is rendering. You can see the preview for our SVG code. We can copy it to the clipboard or download it. Nice. Such an easy implementation and so much cleaner than most of those kind of shady online generators. And that's it. I hope you liked the video and it may spark new ideas for self-built solutions. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!